You know you need to improve your English at work. Maybe you go quiet in meetings because you can't find the right words fast enough. Maybe you've watched someone with less experience get the promotion, and you've wondered if your English is the reason. But you're busy. Back-to-back meetings, a full inbox, life outside of work. You don't have time for a weekly class, so nothing changes. Here's what I want to tell you today. You don't need an hour. Research shows that 15 minutes of focused daily practice produces better long-term results than a 2-hour session once a week. That's not motivation. That's how memory actually works. And with AI, those 15 minutes become the most targeted English practice you've ever had. Today, I'm going to show you a complete system. 5 slots built around things you're already doing at work. Emails, meetings, presentations, the conversations that make you nervous. Before I give you the techniques, 60 seconds on the science, because once you understand this, everything else makes sense. Your brain doesn't learn languages by sitting with it for a long time. It learns by coming back to it repeatedly. Short, frequent contact builds stronger memory than long, infrequent sessions. Studies show that daily learners retain 85% of what they learn after a full year. People who cram retain 22%. And if you don't revisit something within 24 hours, you lose around 70% of it. Missing a day is more expensive than you think, but 15 minutes every day compounds faster than you'd expect. And here's the other thing. You're not a beginner. You already use English at work every day. Emails, meetings, conversations, every one of those is already practice. It's just unguided practice. What we're doing today is putting a small amount of structure around what you're already doing. That's it. Here's how the 15 minutes fits into your real workday. 5 options. You don't do all 5. You pick 1 or 2 that actually fit your day. Commute. 5 to 10 minutes of AI-powered practice on the way to work, adapted to how you travel. Before a meeting. 5 minutes of AI prep so you walk in with the right phrases ready. Lunch, 5 minutes rewriting one email you sent today and finding out how it could be better. End of day, 5 minutes debriefing with AI about a conversation that felt difficult. And finally, in the evening, 10 minutes role-playing a scenario you're nervous about tomorrow. I'll walk you through each one. Every section ends with a specific prompt you can use today, not a vague idea, an actual prompt. The commute is the most underused learning slot in a busy professional's day. You're already in transit, already doing nothing particularly useful. And depending on how you commute, AI can turn that time into one of the most effective practice sessions of your day. I'm going to give you 2 versions, one for the car, one for public transit. Pick the one that fits your life. If you drive, this is actually the best possible environment for spoken English practice. You're alone. You can speak freely, and nobody is looking at you. Use that. Before you leave, open AI, ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, and set up a role play scenario, something real. A meeting you have today, a conversation you've been putting off, a presentation you're preparing for. Type the setup. Then put your phone on the seat and speak your responses out loud as you drive. Here's the prompt. I'm about to drive to work. I want to practice a conversation I'm nervous about today. I need to hear you describe the situation, play the other person, start the conversation, ask me one thing at a time. And when I say we're done, give me feedback on my clarity, my confidence, and anything that sounded unnatural. Then just talk out loud in your car. No embarrassment, no judgment, no one watching. By the time you park, you've already had the conversation once. The real version will feel completely different. If you take the bus, train, or subway, you can't speak out loud. But you can do something that most learners never do: active listening with AI analysis. And it's more effective than most people's full study sessions at home. Here's how it works: put one earbud in and listen to a short audio clip, a podcast, a YouTube video, a business interview, anything in your industry or at your level. While you listen, your job is simple: catch one phrase you wouldn't have known how to say yourself. Just one. When you hear it, pause the audio, open AI, and type. I just heard someone say, and put in the phrase, in a business conversation. What does it mean exactly? Is it formal or casual? And give me 2 example sentences I would actually use at work. Read the response. Think about it. Then go back to the audio and keep listening for the next one. This is completely silent. It works on a crowded train, and it turns passive listening, something most people do anyway, into active vocabulary acquisition, with AI doing the analysis in real time. 2 or 3 phrases per commute, 5 days a week. That's 10 to 15 new professional expressions every week, learned in context, not from a list. Both of these versions keep AI at the center, and both are built entirely around dead time you already have. Here's a number. A Forbes and Rosetta Stone study found that 91% of business leaders agreed that English fluency is required for high potential employees to win promotions. Not technical skills, not experience, fluency. Meetings are where that judgment happens. They're live, they're visible, and there's no time to think. This is where most professionals feel the gap most. Not because they don't know what to say, but because they can't find the words fast enough when it counts. 5 minutes of prep changes this. Before any important meeting, open AI and type, I have a meeting in 5 minutes about, give the topic. Give me 5 natural phrases I can use to agree with someone, push back politely, ask for clarification, and wrap up the discussion. Read through what it gives you. Say 2 or 3 phrases out loud. That's your warm-up. And if you're someone who freezes when you need a moment to think, add this. What are natural ways to say, I need a moment to think, in a professional meeting without sounding unsure? The answers will probably surprise you. Phrases like, that's a good question. Let me think about that for a second. Or, I want to make sure I give you a proper answer. Can I come back to that? These aren't complicated, but knowing them before the meeting means you'll actually use them in the meeting. 5 minutes. You walk in with language ready. That changes how you show up. Knowledge workers spend an average of 19 hours per week on written communication, nearly half their working week. For a non-native speaker, a big chunk of that time is spent second guessing. Is this too formal? Too casual? Does this even sound right? Here's the technique, and this has one rule. You always write the email yourself first. Don't skip that step. Even if your draft is messy, even if parts of it are wrong, write it yourself first, because that's where the learning happens. Then paste it into AI with this prompt. Here's an email I drafted. Correct any grammar or vocabulary mistakes, but don't rewrite the whole thing. Mark what's wrong, explain why, then ask me to rewrite the problem sentences myself. That correction rewrite loop is where your writing actually improves. You write. AI shows you the gap. You close the gap yourself. AI checks again. After a few weeks of this, you stop making the same mistakes because you fix them yourself instead of having a machine fix them for you. The language of a strong presentation is actually quite small. There are maybe 15 phrases that do most of the heavy lifting. How you open, how you transition, how you handle questions, how you close. Learn those phrases. Practice them until they're automatic, and you will sound more confident every single time. AI builds those phrases for you in under 2 minutes. The prompt: I'm presenting, put in the topic, to, put in the audience. Write me 3 different ways to open strongly. 2 transition phrases between sections, and a confident closing line. Then say them out loud. Don't just read them. Your mouth needs the practice, not just your eyes. The opening 30 seconds is the most important part of any presentation. That's when nerves are highest, when the audience is forming their first impression, and when most people stumble. If you have 3 strong openings memorized and practiced, you will never blank at the start again. Once you have your language ready, do this drill for live questions. Ask me questions about my presentation topic as if you're a skeptical stakeholder who hasn't been convinced yet. This forces you to think on your feet in English, to find words under pressure, to handle the unexpected. You can do this privately with 0 risk as many times as you need until it stops feeling unpredictable. This is the one most people skip. And I think it's the most important thing I'll show you today. 73% of professionals who use AI say it has helped them avoid miscommunication at work. Roleplay is the sharpest tool for that because it prepares you for conversations no email prep or phrase list can cover. The live, unpredictable, high-stakes ones. The ones where you have to think and speak at the same time. And I want to show you one of the highest stakes conversations a professional can have. Asking for a raise. This is a conversation most people rehearse in their head 100 times and then completely fall apart in the room because they don't have the language ready. They go in nervous. They over-explain. They apologize without realizing it, and they walk out without a clear answer. AI lets you rehearse this until it stops feeling terrifying. Here's the prompt. I want to practice asking for a raise in English. I'm going to request a promotion conversation with my VP. Play my VP. Be professional. A little guarded and ask realistic follow-up questions. Don't make it easy for me. My English level is B2. Ask me 1 question at a time. After 5 exchanges, pause and give me feedback on how confident and clear I sounded, my vocabulary choices, and anything that made me sound uncertain or defensive. So I'm going to pull up ChatGPT and I'm going to paste that prompt and then enter voice mode. Let's have this conversation in voice mode.
Of course, I'll switch over to a voice conversation. Just let me know when you're ready and we can pick up from where we left off. Whenever you're ready, you can start.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Great. So thanks for setting up this meeting, Dan. I understand you want to discuss a potential raise or promotion. Could you tell me a bit about why you feel this is the right time? What's your perspective on your contribution so far?
Yes, thank you for making the time. I wanted to have a conversation about my compensation and my role going forward. I've been in this position for 2 years now and have taken on significantly more responsibility than when I started. I'd like to discuss whether there's room to reflect that in my title and salary.
I see. That's a good starting point. Can you give me some specific examples of the new responsibilities you've taken on? Maybe projects or initiatives where you went above and beyond?
When I joined, I was managing one product line and working mostly within my own team. Now, I'm leading 3 product lines, coordinating with 4 other departments, and I've been the main point of contact for 2 of our largest clients. The scope is genuinely different.
That's a significant shift. Thank you for clarifying. I'd like to understand a bit more about the outcomes. Have these additional responsibilities led to measurable growth like revenue, customer satisfaction, or efficiency that we can point to?
I'd say the Henderson account, we were close to losing them. There were some serious delivery issues before I took over the relationship. I restructured how we were communicating with them, rebuilt the timeline, and they renewed for 2 years at a higher contract value than before.
That's really impressive. It sounds like your leadership was critical. So before we proceed, I'd like to ask, have you discussed these goals or growth expectations with HR, or would you like me to initiate that conversation?
I'm asking for a promotion to senior manager and salary adjustments to reflect that level. I haven't gone to HR yet. I decided to come straight to you first. And based on what I've seen in the market and the scope of what I'm now responsible for, I think a 15% increase is a fair ask.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate the directness. I do want to take this back to HR and review our budget and market benchmarks. Could you give me a day or two and I'll follow up with you once I have some clarity?
Yes, we can do that. On the number, I've looked at market data for this role, and in the industry, 15% puts me at the midpoint for senior manager, not at the top. I'm not asking to be the highest paid. I'm asking to be paid fairly for the work I'm already doing.
That's a strong point, and I appreciate you backing it up with data. I'll take all of this into consideration and I'll get back to you as soon as I have a response. Thank you for being so thorough. Let's touch base in a couple days.
Thank you. When can we touch base again on this specifically?
Let's aim for 2 days from now. I'll set a reminder to come back to you with an update. If anything changes, I'll let you know sooner, but you can expect to follow up in about 48 hours.
Thank you. Now, ChatGPT provide me with the feedback I had asked for.
Of course. Overall, you sounded quite professional and clear. You had a solid structure for your reasoning, and you gave specific examples like the Henderson account, which helped a lot. Your vocabulary was good. Terms like scope, midpoint, and industry benchmarks were effective. The only slight hesitation I noticed was when you said, I decided to come straight to you first. You paused a bit there, which made you sound slightly less confident. But overall, you communicated your points really well. So nice job.
That's the difference between going into that conversation hoping for the best and going in prepared. And notice what just happened. You didn't just get feedback on your English. You got coached on how to handle the conversation itself. The strategy, the tone, the timing, that's what a great practice partner does. AI can be that for you. And here's what makes AI exceptional for this. It's not that it's better than a real conversation partner. It's that it removes every barrier that stops you from practicing with one. It won't laugh at you. It won't get impatient. It won't make you feel embarrassed for losing your words. It's available at 11 p.m. when you're lying in bed dreading tomorrow's meeting. The professionals who improve fastest are not the most naturally talented. They're the ones who practice the most. AI makes it possible to practice every single day, in private, with zero judgment. That's an advantage that simply didn't exist 5 years ago. One final number. Professionals already lose 13 hours a week to ineffective communication, unclear emails, meetings that don't land, messages that get misread. 13 hours. And 15 minutes a day of intentional practice is the investment that starts to close the gap. Here's your challenge. Before your next workday, pick one technique from this video and try it. Just one. Then come back and tell me in the comments what happened. I read every one. And if you want the complete guided version, 30 days of structured lessons, your personalized fluency profile, and the full prompt library that makes all of this work together, that's what I built inside the English Perfectus AI fluency system. The link is below. I'll see you in there.